Hi, beautiful ones. Welcome to Sacred Keys for the week beginning June 28th, 2026. So, Sacred Keys are prayerful, visual, symbolic reflections used for weekly spiritual encouragement, discernment, scripture meditation, and inner healing. Each week, I choose 3 symbols as keys in which to reflect. This week's 3 keys are day and night, the golden thread, and healing. This week's theme is to pay attention to what brings peace, follow what God keeps highlighting, and let that bring healing to what has felt scattered in you. From a personal perspective for you, this feels like a week of clarification. The first key, which is day and night, feels like God helping you to notice the difference between what is helping you and what is draining you. In a simple way, this may look like one conversation leaves you peaceful, another leaves you heavy, or one idea feels clean and another idea feels confusing, or one direction gives you relief and another makes you feel pressured. One thing feels like light, another just feels like noise. This key feels like God is saying, you do not have to keep forcing what keeps clouding you. Pay attention to what has peace on it. And then we have the golden thread. So here I believe God is saying, your life is not random. What I have been showing you is connected. Maybe you've had certain thoughts, ideas, dreams, or questions coming up again and again. Maybe certain themes keep returning in your life. Maybe something has been quietly standing out to you. This key says, don't ignore what keeps coming back with peace. That may be the thread. And then comes healing. Healing feels like what happens when you stop trying to hold everything at once. When you stop chasing every possibility. When you stop overthinking every question. When you stop trying to make sense of everything in one moment. Something in you begins to settle. So personally, the message feels altogether like this. This week, notice what brings peace and what brings confusion. Pay attention to what God keeps highlighting for you and let that simplify you instead of overwhelming you. Maybe you have 5 ideas in front of you, but only one feels peaceful. Maybe you are talking to different people, but one conversation leaves you feeling clearer and another leaves you feeling drained. Maybe you're trying to solve too much at once, and God is saying, follow the one thread that has peace on it. As a community, this feels like a week where many people may be noticing contrast more clearly. They are seeing what feels true and what feels fake, what feels loving and what feels fear-driven, what feels peaceful and what feels heavy, maybe even what feels honest and what feels performative. And that awareness can actually help, because sometimes healing starts when you finally admit, this does not feel good. This does not feel true. This is draining me more than it is helping me. The golden thread for the community feels like, even in confusing times, God is still showing people what is real. Not always in a big dramatic way, sometimes through small things like a clear thought, a quiet moment, a kind person, a peaceful decision you make, a repeated message, or something that keeps standing out gently. And healing feels like the invitation is not to stay scattered by the noise around you. Instead, this week may be about coming back to what is true, what is loving, what is peaceful, and what helps you feel more whole, not more divided. So the community message feels like, in summary, there is a lot of noise in the world, but light is still here. Pay attention to what feels true for you, more peaceful and life-giving. That may be the part of how healing begins. The flow of these all together, you have day and night, so notice the difference between peace and confusion. You have the golden thread. Pay attention to what God keeps bringing back to your attention. And healing, let that simplify and settle what has felt scattered. So, to review the message for the week, you do not have to chase everything. Follow what brings you peace. That may be where God is leading you and where healing begins. Scripture for the week, Isaiah 30:21. Your own ears will hear him. Right behind you, a voice will say, this is the way you should go, whether to the right or to the left. Affirmation for the week, I notice what brings peace. I follow what God is highlighting, and I allow healing to gather what has felt scattered in me. Those are your sacred keys for this week. Comment below, let me know your thoughts, and I'll be back next week with a new set of sacred keys. Take care.